Good.
Okay. Grandma Kay's dad, when he came over from Ireland, he did not want to work in the mines, which is what most of the Irish did when they came over. So what he did, he was a tailor, and he sewed clothes and he adjusted things. That was his main job. But he was smart enough to invest in real estate. He bought a few pieces of property, and also he invested in two companies that started in Wilkes Barre, Pennsylvania. One was Planters Peanuts, and one, I think it was M&M's. But anyway, those people needed some money in order to get started. Maybe it was Woolworths. I don't really remember. But whatever it was, he gave them money that he had saved for their business. And they gave him a portion of their companies. So he was quite wealthy. He did a really good job. And he had a house, 220 North Main Street in Wilkes Barre. And it was a beautiful house. I can remember going there when I was a little girl. And at that point, he was dead a long time ago. But my two old aunts were there. And we, in the back, it ended up where it ended at a mountain. And their backyard was terraced. Do you know what terraced means? Because it was steep, you would go up 4 or 5 steps, and then there would be lawn, and then you'd go up 4 or 5 steps more, and there'd be lawn and maybe some shrubs, and the same thing up further. So, of course, I got Aunt Joanne to go up there with me. And we're going down, and she lost her footing.
What does that mean?
Tripped.
She tripped.
Oh.
And she couldn't stop. And her feet are going like this, and she's going off the first one, and she leaped down, and she managed to stay on her feet. And she did it again, and she stayed on her feet. She was pretty good. That was one of the times that I almost killed her.
Is this the backyard that has a cemetery in the back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at this house in Wilkes-Barre, when you go over the bridge nearby, and at the highest point, you look on this hill, you can see tombstones, and I guess that's our ancestors, right?
I don't know.
Back there?
I don't know.
Maybe one of these times we'll go to Wilkes-Barre and we'll go ask if we can go in that backyard and look at the tombstones, because it's now a funeral home. It was such a big mansion. I guess when he died or sold, instead of moving in a family, they made it a business. It's a funeral home.
Well, after he died, the daughters who did not marry stayed there and lived there, and that's who we.
Eleanor?
No. Aunt Sarah and Aunt Kate.
Okay.
Do you remember them, Aunt Sarah and Aunt Kate?
That's what I mean. That's what I meant, Sarah and Kate. Yeah. I met them when I was like your age. So they were the sisters of my great-grandfather.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Frank.
How do you like that? I met people who were born around the end of the Civil War. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's how close we are to the Civil War.
How old were they?
What, hon?
How old were they?
How old was your dad?
Well, I met them probably in, like, let's say the 70s.
Yeah, but how old were they when you met them?
Oh, they were in their 80s.
Oh.
They were in their 80s.
So they were 80-some years old in the 1970s. I remember going to their house and them giving me super hard candy, which is what old people gave you back then. They had these tins of sticky hard candy. And the first time I was ever on TV was on a children's show, Hatchie Malachi. And I remember we went to their house afterwards, and I think they said they saw us on TV.
They were teachers. They were well-known teachers in Wilkes Barre. And they were not revered, but they were considered wonderful people for 30 or 40 years at least they taught.
You know which high school they taught at?
Myers.
Myers. They had a big football team. You have any questions for Grandma about these little facts?
Is your phone out?
Huh?
Your phone.
It's on.
It's on. I want to hear the answer. So you ask a question.
Were they mean moms?
Mean? No, they were very, very nice. They were very nice. My grandmother could be mean sometimes. She was pretty strict. My mother's mother didn't put up with any crap. Shenanigans, okay. Any shenanigans.
You know what shenanigans are? Misbehaving or silly, nonsensical behavior. Shenanigans. That's an old Irish term. I guess the Gaelic language, which is what your sister's learning.
Well, unfortunately, that was not my Irish grandmother. That was my German grandmother. My German grandmother. And she...
Same type heritage.
Yeah, but she was pretty strict. I used to think she was too strict, but she was right.
Can you turn on the volume on the commercial a sec, Dick? I was recording my mom's audio here.
What was that?
Could you turn the volume down on the commercial a second? So that was your German grandma. What other question you have, Ruby?
What hard candy did you Dad get?
Peppermints, probably. Peppermints or butterscotch. That was the big thing back then. Do you want to hear something funny I was thinking of yesterday?
Yeah.
When I was a girl, candy bars were 5 cents each.
Yeah.
And
Lucky.
chocolate candy bars were 6 cents each.
Lucky.
That's all you had to pay for candy back then.
When I was a boy, they were 20 cents each. I remember we could get 5 for $1, and I was very upset when they went up to 25 cents, and suddenly I was down a whole candy bar for my $1. And I did the paper route to get that money.
Your dad was a very hard worker. He had a paper route for many years, and he went out whether it was snowing or raining or whether he felt sick. We never had to do his paper route for him. He did it every single day. And you know what? Because he did it, the newspaper gave him a scholarship. He got $4,000, $1,000 each year that he was in college.
Back when college was only like
$5,000 or
$3 or
$6,000.
$4,000 or $6,000, so it was like getting a year of college for free.
Wow.
Now
But-
college is like $150,000 a year.
But believe me, the fact that he never missed a day, he did it for 4 years, and he never missed a single day. No
Longer
matter
than that, I would just be high school. I had to do it.
You did it high school.
But then you were able to get a paper out at age 12, which was 7th grade.
6 years? I don't remember that. I
I think it
remember.
was 6 years ago. I actually just asked somebody that on Facebook. I don't know if you know Anthony Favada. He's just a kid my age, but he's my Facebook friend now. And he has a great memory, and he keeps track of all this stuff.
And it was
And
6 years?
Well, I asked him, I don't know if he replied, but he posted a picture of him getting his paper out or something like that. Anthony Favada starts his paper out. Like it was posting the paper, and it was in like 1982 or 83. And he said he got it in 8th grade. And I asked him, I was like, I thought we got our paper outs in 7th grade. I didn't check if he replied.
I can't believe it, but you have to pay for candy. You got to get candy all the time. All I have is my Halloween candy.
Well, your dad worked very hard to get his own money. He worked very hard.
Yeah.
And believe me, getting up at the crack of dawn when it snowed and ice and
But
rain.
But she is very clever, Ruby. She gets a whole big amount of candy every Halloween, and she spaces it out pretty much up until Easter.
When you
She
get
gets
more.
Easter. So she's pretty good at never buying candy. She got the freebie
Virginia
element.
still got only a teensy tiny bit, like 7 or 9 candies left. But I still got 50 or 30.
Well, I hear you no longer like Skittles, either one of you. Is that
Not
true?
me. I don't like Skittles anymore.
You don't like them anymore.
Maybe you maxed out on to your sweating Skittles. They were coming out of your ears. You ate so many. Like I ate cucumbers when I was a kid. I loved cucumbers so much I ate them till I smelled like cucumbers, and then I couldn't eat them for 20 years.
Jeez.
I gave them up and never wanted them again. Now I can eat them again, but for the longest time, I just looked at them and was like, ugh, no, thank you.
Thanks for cleaning up, Dick.
Well, it's not all cleaned up, got most of it. doesn't it?
Most of it.
Thank you.
Well, we can't. We have to see what Allie wants to eat.
Thanks for that story, Grandma. Say thank you.
Thank you.